"You guys, who is that kid?" someone whispered near the front of the chapel, cutting through the low hum of organ music. All heads turned. The doors had just creaked open, and there he was. A teenager, no older than 17, dripping wet from the rain, walking slowly down the center aisle. In his arms, he clutched a wooden triangular flag case, holding it like it was the last piece of someone he loved. His black shirt clung to his chest, his shoes squeaked with every step, but his eyes didn't flinch. He wasn't here to be seen, he was here for something deeper. And then it clicked for everyone watching. That's not just a kid. That's Mason's little brother, Eli. The younger brother no one expected to show up, let alone walk in like this, unannounced, alone, soaked, holding something so sacred it silenced even the toughest veterans in the room. No one moved, no one dared to speak. He kept walking toward the casket, toward the photo of Sergeant Mason Reed in uniform. Grinning, proud, forever 26. The casket was covered in a crisp American flag, framed by roses and salutes. But it wasn't until Eli reached the front that anyone truly felt the weight of the moment. The boy dropped to one knee, gently opened the empty flag case, his father's from years ago, and slowly reached out for the folded flag that covered Mason's casket. A soldier stepped forward instinctively, unsure if protocol allowed this. Another laid a hand on his shoulder and shook his head. Let the boy do what he came here to do. Eli took the flag with trembling hands, laid it into the old case, and closed it carefully like he was sealing a chapter he never wanted to read. Then he stood up, faced the crowd, eyes red, voice barely above a whisper. "My brother said he'd come home," he said. "He just didn't say how." That line, so simple, so devastating, hit like thunder. A general's jaw tightened. A mother sobbed into her scarf. Even the chaplain looked away, swallowing emotion. Eli kept going, voice raw and steady. "He told me once, being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you show up anyway." He looked down at the flag. He carried all of us. And now, I carry him. Then he walked. No dramatic pause, no lingering for sympathy. Just turned and walked the same slow path back down the aisle, flag case held tight against his chest. The sound of his footsteps was the only thing anyone could hear. People didn't clap. They couldn't. They just watched, stunned, moved, forever changed. Someone in the back filmed the moment on their phone. No fancy edits, just a boy, a flag, and a chapel full of people learning what real courage looks like. That video spread like wildfire. Millions watched it within days. The comments were flooded with tears, prayers, stories. Veterans wrote in, parents, strangers, everyone saying the same thing. He honored all of us with that walk. But Eli didn't do it for attention. He didn't do it for a camera. He did it because it was the only thing he could do. Their mom had been too heartbroken to leave the house. Their father had passed when they were young. Mason had always been the glue, the protector, the big brother who signed up to make sure Eli wouldn't have to. And now, with Mason gone, Eli knew he couldn't let that flag sit on some shelf like a relic. It had to mean something. It had to live. After the funeral, a letter arrived from Mason's commanding officer. In it, he shared stories Eli had never heard. How Mason gave up his own leave so a teammate could see his newborn. How he stood longer shifts to protect the younger guys. How he kept a picture of Eli in his helmet and said, "I just want to get him through school. That's the mission." Eli framed the letter, put it next to the flag case on his desk. And he didn't stop there. He joined a veteran support program, not to talk about war, but about love, sacrifice, and memory. He spoke to students, teachers, families, not as a soldier, but as a brother. A reminder that behind every flag, every funeral, every folded piece of cloth, there's a story, a bond, a promise that someone made and someone else has to keep. And the chapel? People still talk about it. Not for the medals or speeches, but for the boy who walked in with nothing but grief and walked out carrying the weight of a legacy. That image, his soaked shirt, shaking hands, eyes locked on the casket, it etched itself into every heart in that room. Because sometimes the most powerful tribute isn't words, it's presence. A soaked teenager walking alone, flag in arms, spine straight. carrying not just a brother's memory, but the very meaning of sacrifice. Before we wrap up this story, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Don't just scroll, we're reading every single one. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.